Welcome to Season 2 of Trap Talk.
Brought to you by Craigoff.
Welcome back to another episode of Trap Talk. I'm your host, Zach Nannini, and I'm here with my co-host and good friend, Richard Marshall Jr.
What's up?
It's been a few weeks since I've seen you, Ricky. I'm actually starting to miss you a
Oh,
little bit. I don't
boy.
know.
Here we go.
I'm getting excited for the Grand. It's coming up here in a few weeks, and I don't know. I just always get that tingly feeling in July when I'm getting ready to go see all my friends for a couple weeks and shoot under the sun in Sparta, Illinois.
I'm sure it's going to be under the sun.
It's a little. I have a prediction. It might be a little hot this year based on what I've seen coming this summer. What do you think, Rick?
You know, I mean, it was hot in Illinois a little bit. It was hot in Ohio. Nebraska wasn't bad. So
you had a little extra wind in Nebraska.
Yeah, no, it wasn't bad. But yeah, we'll see. I mean, never know. I mean, I'm going to shoot every event as always, and hopefully the weather will hold up, and we don't have too many storms.
We'll see. Only time will tell. So we've gotten some questions about the Grand coming up and like what can people do to prepare. And John kind of put together some ideas and thoughts for us because he likes to give us some structure.
Yeah,
we love that.
Yeah, folks. He doesn't like us shooting off the hip.
Yeah. We invented shooting off.
That's
the hip.
right.
That's the thing. I mean, we could talk about that at Iowa at the Heartland last year. Ricky had one he shot from the hip from the chute, smoked it in the air. I mean, it's a natural talent for him. He can do it. I try, but we're working on it. But to get to the point, today we want to talk about some tips for winning at the Grand. I mean, really, we put together a little bit of a list, some ideas and some things that you could do going into the Grand to help you get one of those trophies. So the first thing we had down, and I think probably me and Rick agree that's the most important thing, is staying positive. Rick, talk a little bit about positivity and how important that is going into a shoot that's 2 weeks long. Well,
the main thing, no matter what's going on, you got to be positive. If you're not positive, you're not going to shoot well. If you have that, bad attitude in the morning, you wake up on the wrong side of the bed, go back to sleep, wake up again. But in all seriousness, you got to be positive. I don't care who it is or what you're doing. You got to be positive. So that's, a good mental mindset, just have fun. That's my main thing.
Yeah. It's so crazy how if you're in a bad headspace and like we all have been there, right? We've had, bad days or didn't sleep well the night before or whatever happens, right? And you're just like, man, I don't know how I'm going to shoot today, or I don't even want to shoot today, or something along the lines. And just that in itself is taking you down a few notches, right? I mean, if you're scared, I mean, I remember last year we shot the class singles at the Grand, and everybody, I mean, I heard 30 or 40 people, man, we're going to be shooting in the rain and shooting in the wind today, and it's going to suck. And like, I just thought to myself the whole time, like, well, this is going to be good if you actually shoot a good score today. It's going to pay. It's going to pay a lot better. So, just shifting that mindset, I think
Is that when we broke 200?
It is. We both did. It was a good. I think it was like a $400 Lewis or something like that. We were happy, but it's just one of those things where you can go out and you can accept defeat, or you can decide that you are going to give it 100%, and the conditions and the weather don't matter.
Well, and that's the one thing is with being positive is there's always going to be outside distraction elements, whatever it may be. We shoot in a game that is an outdoor sport. So
correct.
We're always dealing with the elements, rain, wind, I mean, I don't shoot in lightning. That's a fact. It's one of those that, and like you just stated, you listen to a lot of people be negative, and their shooting is going to be affected by that. And that's the most important thing is being positive. Hey, if it's raining out, you know what? Yeah, you're going to get wet. Meh. Yeah, you're going to have to clean your gun.
Clothes dry. We're good.
You know what? That's the one thing with being ready at a shoot, bring some extra clothes if you're not staying on the property in Sparta. I mean, they have a shower house right there. So, hey,
Oh yeah.
Bring some extra clothes. You get wet, go change your clothes. I mean,
You got to have it. You get you some frog togs or whatever,
wear
Stay dry.
rain gear. That's what I said, being prepared. That's the one of the most important things I think I learned growing up shooting from Frank Hoppy was Frank had a list, and I mean, this is just a piece of paper here in the office, but he had a list that he had literally every day with what he was wearing, but what he was bringing on the trip, and this checklist, and he went through it and checked everything off that was packed into the truck, and that's a pretty good deal.
It's important.
Absolutely,
important
because if you got your stuff,
if I forget my lucky coin or something like that, I'm done. It's a bad deal. You got to have that.
That is a fact.
All right, folks, we got to take a quick second and give a huge shout out to our title sponsor, Craigoff. Me and Ricky both shoot him. We both love him.
Yeah, best gun in the industry. I shoot them. I sell them. Nothing better, folks. Get yourself a Craigoff. Your scores will increase.
Yeah, I mean, Ricky's got hundreds and hundreds of hundreds with his. I mean, I've got a few hundreds, but I'm always working to get a little bit better, and they definitely help me, that's for sure. So on top of that, we also got to thank Winnig. I'm wearing the shirt today. Love this shirt. If you're down at the Grand, pick one up.
Yeah, Winnig, like I said, Zach, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds with my Winnig stock. Get a hold of Bobby, Luke, Bill, get an appointment set up. They will make you a better shooter with that Winnig stock.
Of course, yeah. The Grand's the great place to do it. Give them a call. Get on their book. It's worth your time.
Just remember, winners shoot Winnigs.
With that being said,
let's get back to the show.
So, Rick, for our next tip, since we're going into the Grand and since we're dealing with a little bit of this hot weather, we talked about the importance of hydration and nourishment during these long 2,600 target events. High heat index out there every day. What are your thoughts on the importance of hydration and taking care of yourself?
You stay hydrated, drink lots of water, lots of Gatorade, mix it in and out. I'm not a big fan of going and sitting in air conditioning, then run right out and shoot. I want to be acclimated to the weather.
Yeah.
So, but eat, keep, some protein bars or, some type of snack in your shooting bag.
Have you ever had issues in your life out there with the heat before? Have you ever, what situations have you personally had?
Yeah, one year out there, this goes back, God, probably 10, 15 years ago. I got dehydrated out there and could barely swallow, and I ended up going to the EMT tent, and the guy's like, yeah, you're dehydrated. You need to go rest, not shoot. And I'm like, no, you don't understand. I'm shooting. And he's like, no, you don't understand. And I'm like, no, I'm good. And I went against his wishes.
Did he give you a banana bag at least and tighten you up or what?
No, I just, basically, if I remember right, he gave me like powdered Gatorade and put a little water in it. I was like, oh my Lord. And I drank lots of fluid and went and shot, drank lots of fluid that night. And I'm not kidding you, I don't think I went to the bathroom till the next day. And it could be kind of scary. So
yeah,
we
always see somebody deal with a heat issue at the Grand every year. I think, I'm always a big fan of drinking a lot of water, but I think going in July, I really press it and try to get, 15 cups a day in or, a really large amount and just kind of start getting my body used to drinking lots of water. And the other thing is I always keep cold waters in my bag. So like when you're going from station to station, I think at least 2 waters to get through a 100 event. Just because, I drink about a half a bottle of water every box. Sometimes I'm drinking almost a whole bottle of water every box because it's just pouring out of you. And I like what Rick said about acclimating because I have done that before where you sit in the AC car and you just sit in there until like literally the last 5 shots and you jump out and that heat hits you differently. and you can get a little bit in your head dizzy. So like my rule now, and is I'll sit in the AC, but I will at least 15 to 20 minutes before I'm shooting, kind of get back into that hot sauna, if you will. The only thing I love Gatorade. I wish there wasn't so much sugar in it. I know there's the zero and all.
I drink Powerade Zero.
The zeros, and that stuff like that. But generally, I dilute it. So, Rich, I mean, when Rich is there and he's in my car every year, he's got his Yeti cup tumbler filled with ice, and he gets the water bottle and he pours it in, and then he just does a couple caps of Gatorade. He says he's just a cheap Italian trying to save money, And I'm like, hey,
that's one thing this year, we're not shooting together at the Grand. I'm really not going to miss is Rich with his age. I mean, he tends to have to use the bathroom quite a bit. So that'll save us a little time with our squad. We got a little younger on our squad where you got kind of the older ones, So.
That's okay. I don't mind nursing the Geritol's. It's all good.
Oh, that's a shout out to Rich Bullard. Drink lots of fluids.
Drink lots of fluids. He always keeps a power bar handy. I mean, you never know when you need it. So, all right, folks, we got to take another quick break and thank some more sponsors. We've got Game Masters. Ricky, you're our guy over there, right?
Yep. I sell every gun you can imagine. We've got a ton of Krieghoffs, every other brand available. So if you guys need something, let us know. We can hook you up with the shoots. We got vendor buildings in Arizona, Ohio, and then Sparta at the Grand American.
Yeah, I do like sucking up that free AC in Sparta, that's for sure. I mean, it's a good time. Come by and say hi to us.
That's right.
Also, Shot Tracker. I mean, we've had great success with them. Ricky, you've been involved since day one. So
it's like having a coach on the end of your barrel. It's a great tool, especially for doubles. That's what I really like it for. You can see the transition moving from the first target to the second target. That's where a lot of people get lost in no man's land, losing that target.
I love that, and I also love the new software update, the stuff that's coming down the pipe. Those guys are constantly innovating. So with that being said,
let's get back to the show.
Moving on, I think the next thing that is equally important to having a positive attitude is paying attention to each target one at a time. I mean, what is your personal opinion on focusing on target to target instead of thinking, oh, I've got singles, doubles, and handicap today, or I've got a lot of targets to go? Like, how do you slow it down in your mind, Ricky, and get super focused on what you're doing?
I just worry about the now. I'm not big on the past or the future. The only thing you can control is the now, as we've talked about a gazillion times. The one thing, though, that like when you're shooting the Grand, I mean, you're shooting prelims, 300 targets a day, makes for long days. That's why proper squatting helps. I want to shoot late and then early. And that way you shoot, you're done, you shoot again, you're done, you got a break there, and then the last event, you're first out, second out, whatever, and then you're done. But you really, with each target, I look at, I'm aware of other targets, okay? So I pay attention, but I'm not focused, like, on everybody's target. And I'm watching targets.
You're seeing them.
Target
you're knowing if they broke or didn't break. But we talked about this a little bit before. You don't want that intense, hard focus on every bird because you're wearing your eyes out. You don't want to burn.
Absolutely.
You don't want to burn your sharp focus out because your eyes will get tired at the end of the day. I've felt that where I'm really looking at a target hard and it's like your eyeballs are like, oh, they're a little sore, right? And you'd be surprised. Doing like we did some eye exercises back in college and I didn't even know you could have like a strain in your eye from doing eye exercises. But after I did it, I'm like, oh, that's what it feels like for your eyes to be tired. And I mean, they worked a little better afterwards. So
that is one thing is you, if your eyes get tired and say it's the first event of the day, the singles, they get tired. Well, then you're going to be tired in the handicap, tired in the doubles. So you want to just be aware of targets, watch and see what they're doing, and just each target you shoot at, that's what you were give 110% on that target.
Yeah, I think that if everyone would shoot individually one target at a time and stay consistent, I think everyone's scores would go up. It's when you get to that point to where people put different. I think you start to establish different value on a target based on where it is. Like people put more value to the 25th target or the 5th target on a post or the 75th or the 100th, right? Like adding that value and changing it and trying harder or differently than what you did on all the ones that you broke easily
is going to distract your ability to break your final targets. Oh, trust me, I've watched guys. I got squad mates that have missed late. I've missed late, and it's one of those.
We've all done it.
You're getting wrapped up in the situation instead of getting wrapped up in just one target at a time. That's the main thing. And if you can do one target at a time, trust me, you're going to get a lot further than, getting wrapped up in, oh God, I got 5 left.
Yeah. So here's, I'm going to get a little extra freebie from Ricky today, but if you're in that spot and you're thinking those thoughts, what do you think is the best thing to get back on track, Rick? Like, what's that shift? Because everyone says, well, you could talk about that all day long. Yeah, I want to not feel nervous or I want to not think about that. But when you're on that shot and the thoughts come in, I'm about to break my first 100 straight or whatever, right? What's the shift that you do to get you right back on track?
Everybody has those thoughts come in your head, okay? And if for people to say, I don't have that, that's malarkey.
It happens.
But yes. And for me, it's just telling yourself something positive. Look at this target. I'm going to smoke this target, or that thought comes in like, maybe you got a right angle and you chipped it and you're like, oh God, don't give me another right. I'm going to, no.
Yeah.
When that happens, that's when you say, throw me a right angle. I'm going to smoke that target.
Well, yeah, and honestly, for me, the ones that I finished the most were when I had a chip on my last post, because when I chipped one on my last post, I was like, that was my miss. That was it. Like and it almost like got me like refocused again. Like, okay, I just missed that.
That was your freebie.
That was my freebie, right? And I can't tell you how many times I've finished a good score or run 100 when I had a freebie in there, because like you chip it and it's like,
yeah,
that was not my best shot. That was not my Ricky Marshall Jr. shooting school instruction shot on that one. That was like the Dave Kelly whip with that front hand.
Tough. Yeah. It's tough to put 100 perfect shots together. No matter what. Let me tell you, I've broke quite a few hundreds
and hundreds,
but in every one of them, they all haven't been. I don't think I've ever had like. I might have had.
I'll tell you something. I don't like to ever give you a compliment or brag on you, because we know how good you are. But when we were at Iowa last year and you shot one of the singles events, I'm pretty sure you smoke balled 100 singles. Like it was like I didn't see one chip. I didn't see one. Like it was just like I was clink, clank, clunk. I was hitting more of them at the time. But you were hitting all of it. You were hitting them hard, and I'm like, damn.
There's been a few, but it is one of those that I just want to go out and break each target. And I always say, and this can be our next one, analyzing targets.
Yeah.
Okay. That's one of them where analyzing your breaks. Well, I do that as we're shooting, I kind of chipped that one. Okay, get in the center, but that's all I tell myself. I don't go into like, oh man, you were on the left side, be on the right side.
No, and that's where overcorrection comes in, because I was just doing a lesson with the guy the other day, and I'm like, hey, you broke the face off of that last one, and then the next shot, he completely missed behind it. And I said, what was going on mentally? He says, well, I know I shot in front of the other one, so I corrected and went to the other side of the bird. And I'm no. What you have to understand is you shot the front of that one. Maybe your eyes were a little bit too forward on the front of the target, look more at the center of the target, but don't change the way you swing or change the lead. Like, don't try to change things based on that feedback. Like,
That's trying to aim at it or to get perfect, or
correct.
you just got to trust yourself, and that's why like analyzing. I chip a target, and it's like, okay, get in the center of it. That's it. At the end of the day, on a piece of paper, it's either a line or a zero.
Correct.
We're not grading targets. So, when we all shoot together, we have smoke ball. Let me rephrase that. Justin and I have smoke ball contests. Zach, IC, Nanini.
I go on target. I've only won on target count.
I upgraded you from skeet choke Nanini to IC.
Hey, I think this year I'm almost at a modified with my brakes.
But here's the thing. At the end of the day, that big black smoke cloud, it doesn't – all it does is for this.
It helps. It does help the soul, though. I mean, for me,
when
I'm hitting them like that, like I don't know what they call that momentum or whatever, but it just builds on it because when you're not hitting them the right way, and I mean, Ricky's always joshing with me, telling me I got an IC choke in. Just for the record, there's a full in that gun all the time, so it's in there. I might not be using all the pellets the right way per his instruction, but the full choke is always in there, and I believe that when I feel I'm hitting the targets well, it builds your confidence and it makes you say, okay, I'm centering them up today. And then if you're a little off of that center, you still get a break most of the time, depending on what you're doing. But yeah, I think reading the targets, like you said, Rick, is just analyzing the height, analyzing the speed, analyzing the break, and just generally going all week long. What's this trap throwing? Like, is it throwing a hard right, a little bit more right than normal? Is it out of angle at all? Are they a little higher? Are they a little lower? All right, guys, we got to take another quick break and thank some more sponsors. We got to say big thank you to White Flyer, America's best targets. You make them, we break them, right, Rick?
That's right. We got the new Eco flyer that we helped design, myself and Sean Hawley. That's out now, available out of the Georgia factory. That's an awesome target. Look for that. Going to be available hopefully everywhere by 2025. But yeah, they are best target in the industry.
I'm looking forward to the Blue-Gray Shootout this year at the Grand too. That's going to be a fun event.
Yeah, you're in that too this year, aren't you, Zach?
We both are, aren't we?
Yeah, I'm in it. I didn't know if you made it or not.
See, yeah, that's okay. I skated right in there. Don't you worry. But we got another sponsor we got to thank.
Yep.
Shotguns West, the Pilas, baby. Check out these wings. Ricky don't got these. He ain't that stylish.
Oh, folks, listen. Zach tries to wear these driving down the road, doing podcasts. It's okay. We still love it.
When you look good, you don't have to apologize. Remember that. Not only can you hit more targets, but you can look good doing it. Give Ryan a call.
That's right.
With that being said,
let's get back to the show.
And I guess that takes us into our next, category. The conditions. Like we've dealt with conditions, and I think so many people are like, okay, it's the Grand. We want perfect targets, perfect conditions. I want them set this way, But that being said, what do people do when it's not how they want it? Like what's the mindset for? Oh, we've got wind, we've got rain. What's the mindset for? These are one notch higher than I prefer them. Like, what are your thoughts on that?
My thoughts.
Don't hold back.
I don't change stuff. I absolutely say that this is an outdoor sport. Targets are going to be high. Targets are going to be low. Deal with the conditions. As far as like setting preferential targets, I think that needs to go away 100%. Targets need to be set like we had Steve Carmichael on, and what did he say? 9-10 foot target.
He sets them in the morning, then they don't change them again unless they change the whole line. I mean, unless something is really out of whack and machine breaks or whatever. I mean, I
think they need to take a T-post, take it out there. It hits that. That's the way it is. Some set them under it. Some want to set them higher. I think that you're going away from, I remember growing up shooting targets were set, we shot them. And that's been my mindset my whole shooting career.
Yeah, I think where my opinion is where target setting, resetting becomes important is if you're dealing with something that's blatantly illegal. It's outside of the range of what is a legal target anymore. It's not a preferential set. It's an illegal set. I mean, like you walk up to a doubles field and you call pull on the first target and it comes out the side of the house and it's not even close to lined up. The field is off by 5 or 6 or 7 feet. I mean, and
you don't want the target setter to go, well, 2 of them came out.
Yeah, like when you got to make a left move on post 1 on your first target and you don't shoot them left, right. I mean, you go left. It's just
the struggle is real.
The struggle is real, right? I mean, that kind of thing. And what do you do? Like I remember last year or 2 years ago, we went to Kansas and we had this front facing wind that was blowing at us. I mean, I don't know, 50, 60 miles an hour. The machines were all dropped down off of the pins all the way to the bottom, where it was literally just sitting on the bar of the machine. You couldn't take the thing down another centimeter if you wanted to, right? And the target would come out, and as soon as it hit the air, it would go, and just it'd be up, right? I mean, there's nothing you can do about that.
The old saying, you know what the old saying was? Wind in your face, gun in the case. And I was like, nope.
There's a few shooters that just looked at it, they waved and said, hey, I'm going to be home early tonight. I'm going to catch Law and Order SVU or whatever. And they're just, boom.
Was Don Bud one of them? Was Don like, see?
Yeah, I don't think there's enough point of impact in the gun for those. But
yeah, it's one of those that, the targets, getting ready for the Grand, and that's what this episode is, how to win at the Grand, getting right, getting ready, go shoot practice, that's, our next one is practice.
Consistent practice. And going into that, and, honestly, I got to give a shout out to Dagan because most of the time, and I'm still needing to schedule some more range time, but most of the time between Ohio and the Grand, I pretty much am working and putting away my gun. But he's like, man, I shoot 2-3 days a week at least on days that I'm not in a tournament. And I'm like, man, the times that I've gone 5 or 6 weeks with the gun in the case and just not even looked at it, so many times. And I feel like when we are bringing it out and we get on those 2 or 3 week runs, we shoot so much better when we keep it a little bit more familiar. I mean, I know you shoot a little bit more sporting clays and stuff like that, Rick, but I mean, you're at a different level.
Well, it's here nor there. I mean, I shoot a lot. Shooting's a mental game. And if you've got a good, mental ability, then, there's other ways to go around it. But practicing for the Grand, like for me, we got home, from the last shoot, went out, shot sporting clays 2 days ago.
I got to give a shout out to my old roommate, Zach Bryan. He says he punched a 99. He said he punched a 99 on the course. I said, holy crap. What? I said, he said he put a dead mule in his stock. And I'm like, I guess it's working.
He broke 99, 97. We shoot 200 sporting. And I went 94, 98. And, he missed one on the last post, too, for his 97. So, on the last station.
He was running good.
On his 99, he missed on the first station. And he run the last 90-something.
Yeah, no, he said
these aren't a red. This isn't a U.S. Open course.
No.
These were all, I think I might have put a mod in on one shot, but you could have shot IC the whole course if you really wanted to. And it's just a league deal.
Well, for the people that don't know, I mean, because, we go and we shoot and we travel together, but in Lincoln, in that area, there's a lot of good shooters that spend a lot of time together outside of this and also doing the other things. Like you've got Glow, you've got you've got Zach, you've got the Walter family, like Todd Chase.
Todd and Chase.
Todd and Chase. Who else is on the squad?
Well, it's Todd and Chase, myself, Zach Bryant, and Ryan Glow, and then Greg Preston and Mark Conway, which are two of the better sporting clay shooters around. They were supposed to shoot with us, but they've been busy fishing and doing other stuff. So they haven't shot much. I don't think they've shot any of the league with us so far this year. But we do it as a fun deal. You know, we go out. Us five went out for the first time in a couple of years and got to shoot together because all our schedules, Todd and Chase's schedule doesn't always match with like mine and Glow's or even ZB's.
All right, Trap Talk listeners, let's take a couple seconds and thank a couple more sponsors. First of all, Remington's been with us since day one. I've been shooting these shells since 2007. I shoot the Nitro 27 from the 27-yard line, ounce and eighth, 7.5, and STS ounce and eighth, eighths for singles and doubles. They've worked great for me, as they do a lot of top shooters all around the country. Give them a try. Don't forget the Gun Club line when you're practicing and you're wanting to save a little bit of money.
We'd also like to thank another sponsor, Outlaw Engineering. Randy Freston, R2. I've known Randy since 1988. They do engineering, surveying, drafting, GIS, civil, structural, land development, wetland permitting. They do it all.
And they're friends of trap shooters. I mean, they're a trap shooting family. They've been in the ATA forever. His dad's been involved. They're involved. They're a beautiful family. They're great people. And we just love that they listen to the show, and we love that they support Trap Talk.
Yeah, his dad was past president in 1989. So I really want to thank those guys for the support. I really appreciate it here at Trap Talk.
With that being said,
let's get back to the show. Going away from that, you know, I just got another stock made from Winnig since I've been on this weight loss journey. And
you're looking skinny.
When you lose 60, thanks. Yeah, I'm not skinny. I'm just thinner. But, you know, 60 plus pounds affects the stock. And I had a lot of stuff going on at Nebraska. I was adjusting, and at singles, it was fine, which singles, like I always say, you could, you know, break them with rock salt. But I went down to Winnig, had a pattern stock made, boom, bang, bing, had the comb cut in it, sealed, and back home. And I've been practicing. I've shot 3 days with it and love the way it feels. Just, it's a little different. So trying to get used to it, but
you're,
you know, right out the gate,
you're different.
You know,
and I think that segues us perfectly into kind of maintaining equipment and fit, right? Like for that, Rick, I mean, we get annuals on our guns, you know, to make sure that their gun, I mean, every gun's got a different process, right? I know Craigoff says after a certain amount of rounds, do an annual.
25,000.
How many is it?
25,000.
Yeah, so every year for us, I mean, really, I mean, you get to the point where you're like almost every year you want to go through it and get it cleaned up and get it ready to roll. But I think as much that goes into maintaining your equipment specifically so that it runs properly at the Grand, the fit, right? Like, because you're changing. If you're, I mean, anyone that's trying to lose weight, or I mean, even if you're gaining weight, I guess, but one way or the other, right? One way or the other, there's probably going to need to be some adjustment. Now, I'm not a big fan of changing it every 3 to 5, 5 pounds, and you're, moving the gun around. I mean, you've had some significant losses, Rick. That's why you're making some changes, correct?
Yeah, 62 pounds so far.
Yeah.
So
everything
kind of slendered here. I mean, I went down there, and it was funny. I was mounting the gun, and I'm like, yeah, that feels good. And the gun was like, eh. And Bill and Bobby are like, no. And I'm like, that kind of, I was mounting it on my collarbone, because now collarbone sticks out a little bit more than some of the meat's gone.
There's not as much protection on that collarbone.
Exactly. I might have to go down to shooting 1200s.
Well, I think this is better than if the stock didn't fit and we'd have to eat our way back up to AAA. It's just not. I think we're going in the right direction. And I would say that it's got to be probably weight loss caused by the podcast, all the fun, the laughs, right? I mean, that's what it is.
Oh yeah. No, and that's the one thing is maintaining the fit, make sure everything's good. I always like looking in a mirror, mounting the gun, looking in a mirror. Okay, yep, everything's good. And if it's not, make sure it's right. But when you do make adjustments, you want to go shoot with those adjustments, not just, do it and then go shoot on the line.
Throw a couple washers in the trailer, mount it 2 times, say, yep, that'll be good, and let's go out and bang the singles and call that a day.
I haven't done that before.
I know you. I know you have, but ideally, like you want to have the confidence of saying, "I know this works," because sometimes, and you know, this is different mental toughness levels, but sometimes you could be making the right move, but if you do it in an event, then you're going to be like, "Oh, well, it doesn't feel right," and if you miss a couple targets, you might jump back to the wrong thing, right? So like I always want to have some feedback to know, okay, I made this move confidently, and now I'm going to stick with it instead of, oh, I put it in, I thought it would feel right, and then I missed a target, and so immediately you're yanking it back out, you know?
Well, and that's the one thing is, and going back to the practicing is you want to go out, set a practice, you know, regiment like you talked about with Dagan going out 2-3 times a week.
Develop
when he's
a
not
routine.
shooting. Going into the grand, that's the deal is, you know, maybe go shoot 300 targets, you know, a couple times. And then you're like, okay, you know, I'm good. And really, because it's the mental toughness of, if this is good, everything's good.
So
If this is bad, everything's bad.
Hey, Trop Talk listeners, let's take a quick second to thank a couple more amazing sponsors. SOS Clay's Shoot Management. They're doing a fantastic job. I love the app. I love being able to see everything on my phone instantaneously. It's freaking awesome. Rick, what do you think?
Yeah, Greg Pink and his group over there. I mean, they've got majority of the satellite grands, majority of the state shoots. I think it's 40 plus state shoots they're doing. But the app, honestly, we were doing a little beta testing with that at the Spring Grand. It's awesome. You can see your squad if they paid. You know, you can see your options, your payouts. The whole works at your fingertips. Great deal. They're just
Ricky knew how much money he made before he even got off the line. He was like, hey, I'm buying lunch. I'm like, yeah, good job. We're good to go.
That's
We
right.
also got gun and trophy insurance. I mean, they're the best in the business. I know they're great price. Ricky, you're familiar with them, right?
Yeah, Cole and Larry Cushman been long-time supporters of myself, and I've been a supporter of them, and, you know, especially with my college team. You know, we require insurance. It's so fast and easy to sign up and get your insurance in literally 10 minutes. You can have your guns insured, and they're just great. They're great to deal with. Like I said, you can do your trophies also, you know, your wildlife animals and that such, and your guns. It's just a great
It's
product.
always good when you're
Great
traveling
product.
around to have that peace of mind and know that you don't have to worry about losing your stuff forever. And these are expensive things, especially when you got those Craig-offs. You got to keep them insured. So
Oh, exactly.
with that being said,
let's get back to the show.
I kind of want to, you know, bring us home and finish us out on the mental toughness and analyzing mistakes when you are in the zone and you do have a miss, right? Like you're at the grand, you know, just lost a target. Is there times when you're analyzing more versus less? Like if it's just a one-time miss, is it pretty much in and out and you're getting rid of it? And then if there's a lot of misses, are you trying to figure out where the problem is, or like where
Oh yeah, if there's a lot of it. Yeah, what the hell? You know, is this my gun? You know, so I break it down per discipline. Singles, you know, like what was it a couple years ago when we were shooting and I missed the 7th target out, and I said I ain't missing no more.
Yeah,
and I didn't. I didn't miss till the Cardinal Center.
you did good on
you
that
know.
one. You did hunker down.
Yeah.
And it was shocking for me because I'm like, oh, that Ricky Marshall, he ain't that good. He's already missed in the first box. And then bam, you're back in the game. So it was one of those things.
Well, and that's so singles is a little different than handicap because, you know, singles, you got to break them all to win. Unless the conditions are just horrendous.
And we're talking
you know.
at the top class. Right, I mean,
Yes,
you know.
Well, any class. It's the World Championships at the Grand American. Pretty much any class. But then you go into handicap, and yeah, it's probably going to take a 99 or 100 to win. But you know, a 97, 98, not a bad score at all. So that's where the mental game kicks in as far as, you know, thinking, okay, you missed one in handicap. Okay, what I do? Yep. Okay, move on. You know, doubles, it's like singles. It's going to take 100 to win. 99 will get you maybe in there, but, you know.
Yeah, I think in the easier game like singles or doubles like you just mentioned, if I'm missing a target, if it's one, I'm not really going into analyzing too deep.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, most of the time, if I missed okay, I moved on the call, or the target spooked me, or I lifted my head,
Yep.
or one little minor mistake that was a fundamental mistake in my game that I could point out within a second and know, okay, I know exactly why I missed that. Hop back on the horse, and instead of thinking, all that time on analyzing, I'm just going back to the task at hand, is doing it the right way every single time. Now, I have had boxes where I've gone out there in singles and I've missed one, and you shake it off and you go back, and then you miss another one, the same reason, and then you miss another one, the same reason. And in that scenario, that's when I start to really say, okay, like, for me at least, if it's out of my range, like, and it might be if you're regularly shooting 23s and now you're down at an 18, right? Like, I think it's wherever you're comfortable. Like, if I'm regularly shooting 25s and now I'm shooting a 23 or 22, I'm checking. The first things I'm checking is my comb loose? Am I changing anything? Am I looking in the wrong spot? Am I, fundamentally making some major mistakes? Check my feet.
Mental toughness, and that's the problem. When people miss multiple targets, they let that negativity get in there, and that's why, listen, going into the Grand, just do your thing. Get a routine set, get your pre-shot routine set. But the most important thing for everybody out there, set some goals. Set some Grand American goals. Break 100 straight. If that's your goal, break a 25, break a 50. And for everybody out there, remember, we got them Trap Talk 100 straight pins.
Yeah.
So,
we don't have any 99 straight pins, so you got to get after it.
All right, folks, let's take a quick second and thank some brand new incoming sponsors of the show. These are personal friends of mine, fellow clay shooters, and lovers of the outdoors, Rick and Carla Burke at 73 Pointers Ranch. Rick, tell them what we're doing.
Well, we're doing a giveaway at the Grand American. So they've graciously donated a one-person hunt for, I think it's, 18 quail or 12 chucker or 8 pheasants. Your choice, guide and dog. We've got dinner, overnight, lodging, breakfast. So, yeah, I think it's going to be a great giveaway.
It's a great thing. It's valued at like $1,500. You can obviously bring a guest if you'd like, but, it's about an hour out of St. Louis Airport. And if you're lucky, maybe me and Rick will go out there with you and do some bird hunting, because this is an awesome place. It's a great time. And if you're local to this area, it's not that far out of the city. So you can be in the office and then be hunting in the afternoon. So they're great, great people, and they love this show. So we really, really appreciate the love and support.
Yeah, we'd like to thank Rick and Carla. We really appreciate that.
Also, we've got Mid-State Precious Metals, Ron Prescott. He's a great guy for all your gold and silver needs. Ricky, tell them about our friend.
Yeah, Ron, he graciously donated a 10-ounce silver bar to our live in-person podcast in Tucson. And, he has everything. I bought a bunch of silver from him. We got our silver and gold for the fun day at the Nevada State Shoot on Monday this year. John got all the silver and gold for the Nevada State Shoot. So look him up for your silver and gold needs. He'll give you the best price out there.
He really is, and he's a friend of the Trap Shooters. I mean, he's looking to get gold and silver to these gun clubs for their shoots at the lowest price across the country. He's doing them a service and helping grow the sport. So, thank you so much for that, Ron.
Yeah, thank you, Ron. We appreciate it.
With that being said,
let's get to the show.
But it the mental toughness and it's everything, but I don't even know how to put it in words. With getting there, it's just experience. I mean, you have to go through it. You're gonna have to go through the pain of messing it up before you get to the point where you're not messing it up. And I don't know anyone in my mind that just went out there and just broke the 25, broke the 50, broke the 75, broke the 100 the first time out, and just like, oh, it was no big deal, right? Like
it was easy.
Yeah, it was me. Like, I remember, and this is back, we're talking 20 years ago, but I remember coming up on the first 100 straight and distinctively remember missing and feeling that, oh my God. And I did it a couple times before that one time where I'm like, okay, we've been here before. In the other times, when I got to this point, I started being careful. I started measuring. I started doing all these other things. So let's not do that. And you start eliminating the things that you don't want to do when you get to that zone, and trying to remember the things that you were doing when you were breaking, those big scores. And
well, and that's one of the things is going back to, if you're 75 straight, and you broke 100 before, is reverting back to, okay, I've already done this.
Correct.
And the mindset makes a huge difference.
Yeah, it's like the first time I went into the gym, very scary. Now the third time, a little less scary. But
in your fourth time last week,
pizzas are still my home place. You just like that first slice of pizza was a little intimidating, but once you get the whole thing down, you're like, that.
Oh, that's funny.
I think the goals are important. I've already got most of my goals written down for the Grand. My first goal is win a trophy every year. Like I want to win a Grand trophy every time I go. That's definitely on my list. My list is to not break below a 99 in any of the singles events. I'm putting down I don't want to break below a 98 in any doubles events if I can help it. That way I'm pointing in all those, and those are important things for me. And I'd like to keep all my scores above 90. I always have that 90, handicap goal, is just because sometimes you deal with the wind, and sometimes you're out there, and
it depends on and it depends.
Everybody's got different stuff they're focusing on, right? But like in the back of my mind, like and I have the same goals that Ricky has on the straights. Always run 100 straight at a shoot. I wanna run 100 at every shoot I go to. So I don't care if it's singles, doubles, or handicap, but I want to get a perfect score in there.
Yep.
And so these goals are going to shift based on where you are in your life and what you're trying to accomplish and what you're trying to do and how long you've been shooting. But I think it's very important that you have them. And
yes,
and
setting the goals, most important thing. And that way, and set some goals maybe that might be out of reach, but have their bucket list goals. I've got a goal every year to try to win a Grand Ring. Does it happen? No.
No, but you still have to focus on that.
Absolutely. Now, and I don't get wrapped up into it. I just go out and shoot and break my targets. And I always say, you know what? Just getting the shoot off, because that's where it matters.
That's the thing. You just said something, and I don't want to bypass it. You said don't get wrapped up in it. I think sometimes we, like we say, okay, this is going to be my year. I'm going to win a Grand Ring, right? Like I really want to do it, and you can taste it almost, and then you mess it up there at that last second, and you're it's over. I think you can put too much importance on the thing that you're chasing, instead of going back to the target, right? The one target, right? Because, you looked at, what Bartholomew did, winning the doubles 3 years in a row. At any time that day, he could have said, okay, I'm about to win the third in a row, and then dead lost on a pair. But he didn't do that. He just said, I'm going to break this next pair. And he just kept breaking pairs until...
You got to break it down into, you're not breaking a pair or a target to win. You're going to get in the shoot-off. At the World Championships, it's very rare that anything's going to be a loner. Maybe the handicap occasionally. Doubles. The doubles, no. There's usually multiple hundreds. It just depends who can outlast who in the shoot-off.
All right, Trap Talk listeners, got to take a few more seconds for some shameless plugs. This time, we're plugging Trap Talk. We got the hats on.
That's right.
Ricky, why are you wearing the same hat as me? It's going all gray. We got hats. We still got some available, right, Rick?
Yeah, we got multiple hats available. We got a big order of hats coming out, too. You can get them on the website. John will put the link either up here or down here. Not sure. That's somewhere. Up to John. So I gave you both.
Yeah, you never know where he's going to put them. That being said, we love you guys wearing the hats at Trap Shoots. It really shows the support. It shows the love. Take pictures. Tag us on Instagram. Tag us on Facebook. Send us messages of you guys wearing the hats. Wear them proud. And we got a big reveal coming for the Grand. I think you guys are really going to like it. It's going to be awesome. We're going to have a place for you to maybe get some merchandise. So more details to come. With that being said,
let's get back to the show.
The game of endurance. And the other thing that I'm really excited for, because I think it's going to be a good thing, I heard, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I heard that the clay target's going to be shot to completion this year.
That's the rumor. I don't know. I hope so.
I think that's a game changer, because at the end of the day, like when you say, okay, you know, you got to go 200, and then you got to go another 200 the next day, and another 200 the next day, and another 200 the next day, right? At the end of the day, the cream is going to rise to the crop on that type of deal. But if you're in the zone and you break a 200 and it's your day, and you're just on and you're not missing. I mean, I've had those days. I mean, maybe once or twice in my life, where Ricky has them like once a week. But there's days where I can't miss. And like if you go out there and that's your day and you're just feeling good and it's working, I mean, why not just wear it out till 2 or 3 in the morning? Because somebody's got to miss. I mean, there's no way you can go that late in the day.
I've shot late. One year at the Grand, we shot 300 in the shoot off, and it was 1 a.m.
Yeah, and I mean, but if you went to 400, somebody got wore out. I mean, it's gonna.
Yeah, we quit. So that's the thing. It's one of those. We'll see. I don't know. I mean, because to completion, I mean, what do? It's tough to make someone, especially for like the clay target, to crank the targets up or do something.
Not changing nothing.
Yeah, it's Now, if it's down to me and you, we'll change him. We'll put it on wobble or something.
Hey, you know what? Honestly, if it was me and you and the clay target, you heard it here, folks. If the wobble was going to be the choice that we could do, I would take the odds on that and pray the target gods give me the good draw on that. I mean, I'd say, please, target gods, give Ricky Marshall the low left burners on 1 and 2, and give me the little fluffy.
No problem, I'm in. That's right in the wheelhouse.
The low left burner, like but that's I mean, I would do that. So if it comes down to it, Ricky, me and you heard it here first. I'm in on the wobble event. But
listen, I think it's going to be a great Grand. I'm looking forward to it. We'll have the building. We're going to be doing.
You guys gotta come by and see the studio. Right now, my dad is over there as we speak, making finishing touches on it. But we're gonna have. We're going to have tons of merchandise for you guys to purchase. We're going to have Trap Talk legends in there all day long shooting podcasts. So, we're going to have some really cool things, and we might even have like a little hangout VIP session. So it's going to be fun. It's going to be good. We're building 106. So come by and say hi. Now, just a little announcement. We're not like traditional retail stores. We're going to be open every hour of the day. If we're out shooting, we're probably going to lock it up, but feel free to come by and drop in and see what we got and go from there. But I think this has been a really helpful episode for people, Rick, because it gives them some structure. Like, what do we need to do going in the Grand? Where can we focus? We talked about gun fit. We talked about the mental toughness. We talked about the hydration. We talked about a lot of different things, and just go have fun. Get to the Grand, have some fun, see your friends, do the best you can, and work on getting a little bit better than
the experience. That's the main thing. Enjoy your experience there. If it's your first time, it's your 50th time. I think this year's my 35th Grand.
So what's it? 2024. I went to the last one in Vandalia, which was 25, right?
Yeah.
I've never missed one since. So next year will be my 20th year. So 25, here we go. So number 19 for old Zach. So,
yep, 35 for me. I didn't get my 30-year award. I don't think I filled out for it. I did, but yeah, I got to look at that because I've been shooting 36 years and I missed 1 Grand. So,
well, there you go, Rick.
Yep.
Well, we're excited to see everyone. Thanks for listening.
Yes, we are.
In. We'll catch you next Friday, same time, same place. We love you guys, and keep sending in the feedback. The feedback. Feedback. I got to do that take again, Rick. We'll just redo that. Feedback.
And the Trap Talk podcast is brought to you in part by
RM Shooting Clinics. Have Ricky take your game to the next level. If you want to shoot hundreds, give Ricky a call today. Zach Nannini Financial. We believe in putting people first.